Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Today's video we'll be looking at how to buy a family car. 8 important factors that you really shouldn't ignore. The first one of these is the number of doors that the car has. In most countries, young children have to sit in the back of a vehicle. Therefore, as a parent, you will need to put them in the back seat. It is infinitely easier to put a child in the back seat if it is a 4 or 5 door car. Yes, coupes often look more streamlined and maybe more impressive to your work colleagues, but try putting a baby into the back seat. Absolute nightmare. Trust me on that one, I made the mistake of choosing form over function when buying my first family car as a parent and regretted it every day until I exchanged. On most car buying websites, you can actually filter by the number of doors. For a less stressful life, it is definitely worth filtering out 2 and 3 door vehicles. The second point is ISOFIX points. Back in the day, it was commonplace to thread the seatbelt through your baby's car seat to keep it secure and safe. This was particularly frustrating if you wanted to take the car seat out of the car. Then began the arduous process of untying the car seat by feeding the seatbelt through the various clasps on your baby's car seat. Thankfully, the ISOFIX function was invented, which made the process much easier. ISOFIX points are secure points built into your vehicle's frame upon which you can secure your baby's car seat. They are usually hidden somewhere within the seat bottom. ISOFIX points enable you to quickly and easily clip and unclip your baby's car seat so that you don't have to remove your baby from the car seat before taking them into the house. ISOFIX bases have become more commonplace recently. These are fixed bases which you leave in your car attached to the ISOFIX anchor points. Your baby's car seat then clips onto the top of this ISOFIX base. I would thoroughly recommend you buy a car with ISOFIX points built in. On many vehicles, these are an option, which has to be added at the point of manufacture. However, other manufacturers include these as standard, recognising how useful they are to parents. The third point is the number of seats. An expanding family brings with it the requirement for more seats within your vehicle. Whereas the convertible two-seater may have been ideal before the arrival of children, it really doesn't cut it when you've got more bums that need seats. Of course, depending on how many children you are planning to have will inform your choice of vehicle. Some family cars have 4 useful seats, others have 5, whereas some vehicles have space for 7. It's highly likely that in a 7-seater, however, that not all seats in the back will have ISOFIX points. Make sure you factor this in to your decision. It is also true that the majority of 7-seater vehicles treat the back 2 seats as optional. They are usually not fixed in place and can be folded down to increase the load space. This often means that the rear bench often takes up boot trunk space. Therefore, if you have bulkier items, such as a baby's pram to fit in the boot, having 7 seats in use may severely limit your ability to transport this type of item in your vehicle. Be sure to check out how much boot space there is with all the seats in use. The fourth point to note is boot or trunk space. Before you welcome kids into your life, it is likely that the amount of luggage you needed to carry was minimal. A laptop, a notepad was probably all you needed on your daily commute to work, whilst an overnight trip just required a small compact holdall. Having children, you'll shortly realise that travelling light was a thing of the past. On trips alone, the amount of items that you will be required to bring for a young baby is significant. Of course, when you begin to take your child away for overnight trips, the list of items becomes even more lengthier. This makes storage space that much more important. One thing that we did with an expanding family was that we measured the boot space before buying the car. It was important to us that we didn't have to dismantle the baby's pram too much before fitting it into the boot. At this point, we had already bought our baby's pram. Measuring the boot dimensions on several potential vehicle models actually made us realise that despite SUV's apparent size from the outside, the boot space is actually quite limited in many models. In the end, we opted for an estate station wagon type of vehicle. This type of family car seemed to us to have the greatest utility so far as boot space was concerned. It meant that we did not have to dismantle the pram and could fit all of the 1001 other items in that we needed. The fifth, and perhaps maybe the most important point to consider, is the safety rating of your family car. The safety rating of your vehicle has to be one of the major considerations before purchase. A number of manufacturers break down the safety rating of their vehicles by front seat occupants, back seat occupants, and pedestrians. It is worth checking to see how safe your child is likely to be in the back seat of potential vehicles. A high safety rating will provide you with greater reassurance and peace of mind should you ever get into a collision. A sixth point to note is entertainment options in your family car. As your child starts to grow and you take them on gradually longer journeys, keeping them entertained will become of paramount importance. The last thing you want is a 2-hour journey with the relentless non-stop soundtrack of crying. Modern vehicles offer a variety of entertainment options for your child. Some come available with DVD video players, which commonly come installed in the back of the front seat headrests. Some also have built-in interactive games for passengers to play. These types of entertainment can be costly options to spec a car with. Therefore, you may prefer to look at aftermarket options. There are in fact a large selection available on Amazon. Nowadays, many people like to play music directly from their phone to their car's entertainment system. To ensure this is possible, check that the potential family car you may buy has an auxiliary input or Bluetooth. This makes it possible to connect your phone, tablet, or other device directly to your car's entertainment system. In turn, this means that there is no reason not to play the latest version of Baby Shark on repeat. Saying that, on some occasions you may wish to tell your kids the auxiliary input is broken if you want some peace and quiet. The seventh point to note is whether there are child locks on the doors and the windows in your family car. It's an important thing to check. It's standard on most modern cars, but as I said, child locks and doors on windows are vitally important. They mean that your child is unable to open the window or the door from the back seat. Back in the day, child locks on doors used to be operated through flicking a switch on the inside of that particular door. Familiarise yourself with this switch and ensure that it is in the locked position. More recently, however, many newer cars have the child lock function as part of the driver settings menu. For further information on child locks and how to operate them, please ensure that you refer to your vehicle's instruction manual. And the eighth, and perhaps final thing you must consider, is financial considerations. It's highly likely that your outgoings may increase substantially upon having a child. Many new parents are shocked at the amount that has to be spent on things like your baby's crib, pram, toys, etc. Purchasing a vehicle that is suitable for your expanding family is yet another outflow. Therefore, you may wish to consider the cost of purchase in your decision. Committing yourself to high monthly outgoings at a time when your finances are already strained may be worth avoiding. As opposed to your baby's pram or crib, vehicles have significant ongoing costs. Consider taking these into account, things like the fuel efficiency of any potential vehicles, as well as the likely servicing costs. Committing yourself to a vehicle that is going to cost significantly more on an ongoing basis than alternatives will put further pressure on your finances in future months and years. So, some final thoughts. The points I've spoke about already provide a list of important considerations when buying yourself a vehicle as a parent. However, with all that said, it really is important that you have a family car that you are comfortable and happy with. Whereas practical considerations should certainly play a significant part in your choice, it is also worth considering and worth remembering that you are going to have to drive this car each and every day. For that reason, it's important to make sure that you actually buy something that makes you smile. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please subscribe for similar videos.